having some issues with the YouTube app. I've got a new phone, completely up to date, completely modern. It's been a little while, and just nothing works, especially not YouTube. You know, it's like you've got to do all of these things to have successful videos, etc. And the powers that be will just not let me make these things happen. Anyways, in this case, it was a thumbnail. I could not have any thumbnail, and every time I tried to upload a thumbnail, the app closed. And this time, what's up, Crispy Donut Community? Good to see you. Steven, what's up? It just didn't work. Anyways, I just wanted to give you guys a quick brief. I'm back. You may have noticed a lull in channel content creation. I've been gone for 2 weeks on my 10-year anniversary. Drove about 5,000 miles. Kevin, what's up? All over the place. Aaron, good to have you, man. So I have not been making a lot of videos. I've not been good at replying to messages. I've not been good at sending messages. Stuff has been wild. It was a wild trip. We went to Lake. Yeah, I should have mentioned it. So the reason sometimes I just pop up live without giving anybody any notice. What's up, Gun Cotton? Is it's an easy way for me to do a quick video that will automatically upload, and people who can't be here live can still see a quick update later without me having to edit it and do everything else. Anyways, we started. What's up, Jade? We started at Lake McConaughey in Nebraska. Then we went to Du Bois, Wyoming. This is actually from the Cutthroat Fly Shop in Du Bois, Wyoming. I really love that shop. I really love that town. Then we went to the Grand Tetons, then Yellowstone. Then we went down to Arches National Park, Mesa Verde, R25, shooting and movement tactics classes. So I don't do shooting classes currently, more movement and tactics classes, and what most people would consider bushcraft and survival, but that's still just tactics. Thanks, Crispy. I appreciate it, man. Anyways, let's see here. Oh yeah, down to the Arches National Park, then Mesa Verde, and then we did the Durango to Silverton train ride. I got to Rick. I was just to mention, got to meet Rick, a long time friend, a long time friend who I had not met in person yet. It was an amazingly special trip overall, and I learned a lot. We were kind of scouting for the train ride's amazing. We were kind of scouting for what we needed to do differently in the future, especially when we brought kids and dogs, where we wanted to go. Going all of these places in 2 weeks is not really a good idea to have a good time with the family. Every single thing is rushed, and you feel that you never really got to fully do any one of the things. Yeah, Gun Cotton said trains are great. He took a narrow gauge train to Hudson Bay. This was a narrow gauge train from Durango to Silverton. It was a steam engine. It was a whole experience. But I'm thinking of finding a way to get myself a small Jeep and a camper top for my truck. And I'm thinking I want to pack up the kids and the dogs and take the truck instead of my little cramped car, pull a Jeep, and head out. And I am so excited about it. A freight train engineer, humble brag. Dude, that is pretty cool. I oddly feel like I know quite a few people who work on or have worked on as engineers on trains. One buddy that I served with, Brian Savage, I don't know if he still does that. I need to go visit him. Anyways, so it was a crazy trip. Where do we go from here? Well, of course, I've got a psyop that I cannot pass up talking to you guys about. Really quick, if you're not used to me always talking about that, um, a real event can certainly be made into a psyop. It just depends on who controls the narrative. So we recently had a guy threatening to smoke Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and the FBI went and smoked him. I'll have to talk about that. R said looking to a Toyota 4Runner. Apparently Jeeps have issues. Everything has issues to some degree. I would never touch one of the newer 4Runners, I don't think. One of the older ones would be cool, but they kind of have some of their own issues. So, all of the vehicles that are very popularly and very commonly off-roaded all have their benefits, but everything has its drawbacks as well. Um, anyways, I'll have to talk about him, but the reason I actually don't, yeah, 4.0 Jeeps are the way to go, but the older 4.2 liter AMC inline sixes were great. Honestly, the 304 V8s were great. Um, and I might even be looking at something that may have something more along the lines of, say, an F head Willys Hurricane engine. I don't know. I like getting a little wild. Anyways, the reason I don't stay on top typically of news stories, especially ones like this one with this dude getting smoked, is because no matter what the truth is, which I do not have the capability, and neither do you, of finding out what truly happened. No matter what the truth is, people are going to be fighting one side or the other of a narrative that is being given to you by the powers that be. So, Jesse said people want too much money for the 4.0. The Jeeps are actually coming down in price significantly compared to what I'm used to. And I think that the UTV market is destroying the used Jeep market because now people look at a Jeep as an old, slow, uncomfortable, inefficient piece of junk when they could jump into a UTV that is fast and nimble and light. But anyways, good to have you. Random hobby. You have an M38A1. That is amazing. So yeah, allegedly the guy's a Vietnam vet. I have questions based on the pictures. I'm going to do a video on it, but what I was saying is I don't typically do videos like this because there's a narrative. Typically people are arguing one side of the narrative or the other. That's all planned for. Whether you support one side of the narrative or the other, you're still supporting the narrative. You're still pushing their agenda. So I'm going to have to try and pick it apart with the information that I'm given, information that is planted, and try and find a nugget that is going to be beneficial to the freedom-minded patriot without promoting their agenda. And it's a difficult thing to do. Had to cut a hole in the hood for the top-mounted downdraft carb. I heard a lot of people had to do that with the F-Series heads when they swapped the F-Series heads into an original Hurricane with the L-Series heads because the F-Series heads are so much taller. The F-Series head, I actually didn't know anything like that even existed. It's a very, very interesting design with the combustion chamber. I was kind of blown away by that. Yes, but they are pretty much the same block. Yeah, UTV prices are getting insane. Anyways, so yeah, I'm going to touch on that, but I won't always do it. Guys, quite a few people send me emails constantly. Some of you are great, but here's the deal. of all of the people who are constantly sending me emails and videos and information, I can't, not only could I not act on all of it even if I wanted to, but if I don't know you personally, I can't be sure of what your intentions are. Even if the information that you're giving to me looks to be interesting, looks to be credible, and I want to do a video on it, I could still just be being used. For instance, the whole thing happened with Black Scout Survival, and he thought that I was on his, well, he says he thought I was on his Discord server for a long time. I don't use Discord. Actually, someone recently tried to hack into my Discord. I got an email about it. I haven't used it in like 10 years. It's probably him or one of his dirt bags, but he thought that I was on his Discord because I knew all of the stuff that happened on his Discord. Well, I knew all of the stuff that happened on his Discord because every person he took a dump on would send me emails and screenshots telling me what happened. In fact, oh, yeah. Dudes sent me, I already knew his address. Dude sent me his address. Dude sent me pictures of his house. Dude sent me him in his house. Okay? Wanting me to dox him. And people wanted him to burn down so bad. So I made the videos that I made, but like, you can't trust these people. What you don't know what the agenda is. You got to realize these feds and these glowies who are pulling strings all over the place, in every militia or whatever, there's going to be feds in there. They have a vested interest in doing that. But likewise, all of your influencers, all of your big YouTube guys are feds. They're basically all feds. And they have a vested interest in pushing the mainstream media message through social media because it looks like only my best, glad to have you, because it looks like it's a grassroots movement. It really isn't. So anyways, that's all to say that like stuff like this pops up. I'm not going to usually jump on it to do a video. There's some stuff that really stands out in this situation that motivates me to do a video on it because I think that there are some really things to garner from this situation for the average person. Something I am excited about right now, I'm testing out a new brand of permethrin and picaridin. The brand is Ranger Ready. Kind of a cheesy name, but the prices seem to be fantastic on picaridin and permethrin, and you can buy their factory seconds if they put like a label on sideways or something like that. So I got 6 bottles of this permethrin, and I got 6 bottles of this picaridin. Picaridin is similar to DEET, but in my opinion is far superior. Chance asked, when's the new blade, the PSYOP, coming? I don't think I'll have a blade named the PSYOP in quite a while. If I do, though, I might call it the Raven. I got some new motivation for that. Okay, Chris asked if the guy got shot. He seen a video of a neighbor filmed of the raid from a distance, heard a loud explosion. I have no idea. I don't have any information on that. Yeah, girl. That's fine. Blow dry your hair. Anyways, picaridin, in my opinion, much better than DEET. Does not melt plastic, not so hard on the skin. I think it works even better. It's become harder to find, but this Ranger Ready brand has it. I bought 6 bottles of this. It's quite expensive, though. However, with what I just showed you, 6 bottles of each, I think it cost me about $60, much cheaper than most of the stuff I've seen off the shelf from Johnson & Johnson or freaking Sawyer or whatever. So, city designated homeless camp. Oof. Yes, I have. I was fighting yellow jackets recently. Said you put a bucket of water out, they flew in it and died. That's savage. Justin said, which one does the government say will kill me quicker? That will be the one that works the best. LOL. They do like to ban things that actually work effectively. Anyways, so I'm gonna review this brand because I think it's pretty cool. I think they're very affordable. So if they work well, I'm gonna be very excited about them. One thing to note, do not pack in your bag anything like this. I learned the hard way. Unless you can put a block in here to block the trigger. I actually got a bunch of Dawn dish soap all over my pack from doing that. If you have a squirty top like this, keep the lid and keep it on there so that can't ruin your, just empty itself in your pack. Anyways, yeah, so I'll review that. If I like those enough, I might actually try to keep them in stock and sell them myself. We will just have to see. Okay, next up, you guys probably have heard about Ontario Knife Company going out of business. Like I said it would, Blue Ridge Knives bought them out. I have a new update from Blue Ridge Knives on that subject. It's starting to look like the original Ontario employees are going to continue making knives for Blue Ridge instead of Servotronics, which is a very interesting change. I will try and keep you guys updated on that. I will be doing a video specifically on that. I also have been in touch with an Ontario Knife Company employee, and I will be giving you some things that he has said from his perspective as well. On an odd side note, Case, this is Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Case just, or in this episode, in this magazine has, can you even see it? What's going on here? This is, there we go. That case right there looks oddly like an Ontario knife that was released fairly recently. Like oddly similar. They're new hardwood composite fixed blades. They look shockingly like an Ontario. Good price, $125, 10 or 420 HC. You can see here they've got a few different colors at the top. This is not a good way to show you that they look like an Ontario with this magazine and this poor video quality, but they do. I like. Oh, Kevin said it's a collab. Interesting. Someone R25 asks for a 308 battle rifle. Would I recommend an ACOG RMR combo or a low power variable optic? Probably a low power variable optic. In fact, I don't really like combos at all. I think people are far too worried about trying to shoot long distance and then immediately having to go into CQB and doing all kinds of fun stuff on the range, running around shooting. And I think it's a psyop, getting people ready to just die when the time comes. So I would say low power variable optic. In fact, I would prefer probably for a 308 battle rifle, I'd probably even recommend a mid power variable optic. I know someone close to me is running the Trigicon VCOG, and I think that's a pretty cool option, pretty robust, but 8 power still isn't a ton. So there are a lot of, I wish something like the VCOG could be offered instead of a 1 to 8 in a 2 to 14, or a 3 to 16, 3 to 18. I think it would be more practical. And with training and practice and shooting with both eyes open, you can still be freaking quick with it. I mean, your ACOG is 3 power anyways, right? So why not start at 3 power and get some actual magnification for the stuff that's important? Let's see. Oh, anyways, I was going to say, Kevin here just said he looked into this case that I was saying looks like an Ontario knife and said that it's a collab. That makes sense because the next thing that I was going to say is that it looks, this is another example, I believe, of case being out of touch with their intended audience. It says here, hardwood composite handle, triple rivets. Dear case, you're not using rivets. You're using screws. I like what Case is doing. I see some more affordable knives here, all the way down to $57. I see some good designs. Their USMC military knife looks cool. I'd like to see what the tang looks like on that. Selling here at Smoky Mountain Knife Works at under $100. That's cool. So I see Case has been trying to make some waves, make some changes, and to modernize recently. I don't know that what they're doing. So that is exciting. Don't want that to come off as too negative. For the most part, I'd kind of like to get into testing some case knives, because that's something I've never really done. Yeah, Steven said runs a Night Force LPVO, doesn't need an offset red dot. People are adding offset red dots and offset iron sights and backup iron sights and extra iron sights and a low power variable optic with an additional red dot on top of it. Actually, when I got my gold Schützenschneider shooting the German shoot marksmanship test, they had their G36, which felt like a piece of utter trash to me, with some 3-power optic on the top with a red dot on top of that. And I was using that. I was like, this is the most stupid, designed on a piece of paper by some freaking bench commandos setup that I've ever experienced. It's ridiculous, and we need to freaking keep it simple. I hate that, I'm sitting here saying keep it simple and sounding like the FUDs of yesterday saying that you just need iron sights. An optic is undoubtedly and undeniably a force multiplier, but more optics is not always more better. More sights is not always more better. The same people who are often saying that you don't need backup iron sights are saying, but you do need an offset. Like, guys, we're not John Wick, okay? You're not in the woods doing an ambush or breaking combat or breaking contact, and then all of a sudden you're in a house doing CQB and John Wick, and you're just I am hoping for the Ranger series of knives. I'm not sure if that will happen, but I certainly hope that it will. I'm also planning to do a podcast with Justin Gingrich, the designer behind the Ranger series of knives. I need to jump on that and make that happen. He's a really cool dude, and I think I'm really excited about doing that podcast here. So, digging the stash. This is the lazy stash. You might call it the dirty Mexican. I don't know if I'm going to get banned for saying that or not, but this is not something to be proud of here. In fact, facial hair wise, I am challenged, and so I should keep it all shaved. But you know what? On this 2-week camping adventure, I didn't feel like shaving, so I didn't. But I'm glad somebody likes it, not me. But yes, I do agree, Washburn. I think an optic, in my opinion, is a necessity, but having backup irons is also a necessity. However, if having backup irons is a necessity, then being able to remove your primary optic with your hands is also a necessity. So you see too many people mounting an optic that requires tools to remove with their backup iron sights. If you got to get out a tool set to take off your primary optic, might as well forget about the red dot, right? So throw levers, or at least twisty knobs or something, you know. But anyways, wild stuff. Uh, Talking about knives, something that I see here in the Smoky Mountain Knife Works magazine that I have seen elsewhere and always been curious about is Bear and Sons Cutlery. It says made in the USA. I am not sure. I would not bet my life on its ability to be completely made in the USA at their prices, but if they are, that is fantastic. And so we have classic designs here at Chinese or Taiwan made prices. I have talked to them. They have confirmed that they are in fact made in the USA. It still seems too good to be true. We have the Schrade Sharp Finger there at the bottom, design made by Bear & Sons Cutlery, allegedly in the USA, allegedly somehow with Stag, selling at $36. It's got to be fake Stag, but who cares at that price point? I'd like to review some stuff from them. I've heard some mixed reviews. We've got a Coco Bolo slide lock with D2 steel here. They call it the slide lock. Everybody uses this now. That is the Benchmade Axis lock for $73. D2. Is it made in the USA? Wood scales on a folder with metal bolsters. I am intrigued. I would like to test their stuff out. It would appear to me that if they, okay, Kevin said I've had a few and they were all junk. So that could be the reason. I was going to say it appears that they suck at marketing because nobody who's a knife nerd has ever heard of them. So maybe they suck at marketing and they make junk. I would not support any company, regardless of where they manufacture their knives, who makes junk. But man, see potential there. See potential. I have someone else saying it's Plastag. All right, good to know. I've seen a couple of people that say that their Bear & Sons weren't junk. It which would lead me to believe that the quality control is questionable. Look, guys, at $36 to $100 for these knives I'm looking at, they can't make them in America and use good materials and do these designs with all of this wood and have good quality control. You can't have it all. Something has to give somewhere. Even in China, something has to give somewhere. China, their best blades are absolutely amazing. Anything, China can manufacture anything to any quality level, just like any other country. And yet, when you want the absolute top of the line stuff and you want it made in China, it costs just as much as if it made in America because making top of the line stuff is expensive. So, anyways, yeah, I just wanted to. Oh, I've got some new adventure crafts that are about to be up. You guys know that I like supporting small companies and the little guy. And so I have 5 total adventure crafts with Japanese style wrapped handles by Joe at Ragin Asian Sukamaki. I think I messed that last word up, but I'm going to post those up. I'm going to give him a big shout out. He did absolutely beautiful work. They're very unique with leather sheaths from Michael Spaniers at Spirit of the Bear Design. They will all come with ulti clips installed. They're going to be kind of expensive, but I'm really excited about that. And I'm doing a collab with Crispy Donut Community. The knives are ready. We just have to do the kydex. They are going to be out soon. I am so stoked. So I need to send you guys at Crispy Donut Community an email. Mitchell, how are you doing? So Buck makes some fantastic knives. I think Buck makes some weird decisions. However, when it comes to here's the deal, guys. Maybe I don't have my finger on the pulse of the knife community as much as I think I do. Maybe I think that I see these trends and see what companies are doing stuff right, and I think that I see other companies that are off the path that are missing some pointers. Maybe I think that, but I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But a lot of times when Buck does stuff, it's totally seems to be left field to me, and then they'll only do it for a year. Um, but what Buck does is amazing. Value wise, production numbers, quality control, and price. What Buck does in America is amazing. I wish I could sit down with them and be like, "Hey guys, let's let's talk about some of these things that you're playing with here. Let's talk about some of these." Yeah, girl, it's time. Okay, I'm going to get going here in a second, answer a couple more questions. Only my best asked what my thoughts are on appendix carrier. Um, I used to carry in a 4 o'clock position. I would say I now only carry an appendix. I tried not to carry appendix for a long time. I hated the idea of carrying appendix, and I was incredibly uncomfortable carrying appendix. I will not carry any other way now, unless I absolutely have to. I think it is superior essentially in every way, but you have to be set up for it. You can't just take any holster, especially not Uncle Mike's holster, stick it in the front of your pants, and think that you're going to carry comfortably or safely. So I should do a video about it. Um, um, Kevin said they can't sharpen for crap, but they do make great knives for a good price. I've gotten pretty good edges on my bucks, even. I'm not talking about Kevin level edges. If you guys don't know, Kevin is a perfectionist with his edges and has a real talent at it. But for the price and everything, I've been generally impressed with my bucks, but I have not had a ton of bucks. So. Um, Buck 110 lightweight gun cotton that looks like a fantastic knife. Loophole red dot sight. Um, I like Loophole as a brand. I grew up using Loophole. Uh, I haven't heard the best things about the red dot, but I'm sure it's fine. Uh, Loophole's been making some interesting moves in the gun community recently. Um, Kyle said he can't do appendix. Um, for whatever reason, you might have a reason where you truly cannot do appendix, but I would say that outside of something crazy, you might be surprised if you got the right holster. Dark Camo, thanks for having you. Jonathan, I'm live, but I'm about out of here. Better, Justin said, better concealment, better comfort, easier access in more positions, better retention. There you go. That is all the things. Gun Cotton said, Bucks 154 CM is awesome, hard and tough. All right, guys. I'm going to have to call it a night. Shoulder holster carry is classy AF. I am interested in getting a shoulder holster rig that has a Remington Shockwave on one side and a Glock and a couple mags on the other. Why? Because that's really cool. That's about why. But all right, guys. I'm going to have to call it. Thank you so much for stopping by, for tuning in. What you can expect going forward is a lot of content on this trip. I'm going to give some tips on the places that I went to. I have a lot of product and camping reviews to get up here. So I've got a ton of content to get up on all of that. Thank you again. I hope that you have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you next time.